One of the biggest hurdles in managing your activities better is reducing interruptions. Most agents take for granted that having people interrupt them is just part of the job because they need to be responsive. At the same time, most agents hold themselves to a higher level of responsiveness than they expect from others. Please take into consideration that there are already plenty of times throughout your day when you cannot respond to others, like when you're taking a shower or talking to a client, or hopefully not returning emails when you're driving your car. These instances happen to you every day, and people are fine with it. In fact, unless you're approaching some kind of a specific deadline or in the middle of solving an urgent issue, any response that is within an hour is fine, and people who demand more than that are not being realistic and certainly not part of your ideal life. Don't forget that when you constantly respond immediately, you're training people to believe that their demands are always worth more than whatever else you may need to do, including helping other clients. That conditioning or training supersedes any assumptions that they would have had coming in. So someone who would have been fine with a response in 2 business hours is expecting to answer their text messages and emails at 10 o'clock at night. Also, have you ever thought about how it looks when you respond instantly to everything? Kind of desperate. It must feel to them that you must not have anything going on in your life and your business. Now, here's something else to think about. Have you ever thought about how often you interrupt yourself? I talk to a lot of agents that feel if they do not do something the moment they think of it, they'll forget it. That basically stems from not having a task list they trust, which will remind them to do it later. So be aware that your own thoughts and habits can get you off task and interrupt you. The best way to solve this problem is to develop the practice of active deferral. When you're working on something important and you have a distracting impulse, capture it by just writing it down. Then when you plan your day, leave space in your schedule to deal with those things you wrote down along the way. If you need help in creating space in your day, you can watch a previous video I did on that exact subject. So here's your homework for the week. Brainstorm ways that you can set expectations for your clients. Then I want you to get out your devices and computers and turn off all notifications except for calls and text messages. This might sound scary, and your impulse is to resist this, but you remember, you can always turn them back on. Notifications come in the form of sounds, buzzing, alerts, banners, pop-ups, badges. If you do not know how to do this on your specific devices, you can do a quick Google search. Also, if you have people in your life that you want to make sure that you can always reach, that they can always reach you, let them know to text or call you. You can even set up your phone with specific ringtones, instantly letting you know when an important person is calling. Finally, start the habit of active deferral. Next time you sit down to focus on something important, keep a blank piece of paper next to you with a pen. When you think of doing something other than what you're working on, write it down instead of switching tasks. Give it a try. Thank you for your time today. It's easier than ever to be bombarded by interruptions. Actively fight against them and this notification culture if you want to maintain your focus. Your attention is a resource just as valuable to you as money. Use it wisely.